evening, everyone. It's 6 o'clock, so we will go ahead and start our meeting. We'll begin with our invocation and pledge delivered by Mr. Jansen. Please rise.
Let us pray. Good and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings that you give us each and every day. Lord, we just ask you that you guide us through our new vision for this great city and lead us through a mission statement that will make everyone proud based on your foundation. In your Son's name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Council members Mott.
Here.
Golding.
Here.
Jansen.
Here.
Beza.
Here.
Nichols. Stokes.
Here.
Mayor Hoffman.
Here. Ms. Golding, would you mind making the motions? Item 039.
I move that we approve the council briefing notes, or the notes from the council briefing held on February 22nd, 2021.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the minutes for February 22nd? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 040.
I move that we approve the minutes from City Council and Community Redevelopment Agency special meeting held on February 24th, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm sorry. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 041.
I move that we approve the minutes from City Council workshop held on February 27th, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 042.
I move that we approve the minutes from regular City Council meeting held on March 1st, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on to announcements. We have a big one for our community. We did, as of yesterday, open up a FEMA vaccine site that's held at the Carver Center, which is at 777 5th Avenue South. And it will be open from yesterday until March 23rd, and then they're going to come back and open up again to deliver the second vaccine shots for those who will need it. It's open from 9 to 5. It is not appointment-based, it is walk-up. Currently, they are administering the Pfizer vaccine. We were originally told they would also have Johnson & Johnson. Unfortunately, they don't at this time, but I think the only thing constant is change, so keep an eye out on that, as well as the requirements. Today, the age dropped from 65 to 60, so we did see a little bit of a surge. We had about 270 people yesterday get vaccinated, and today they had 408, so that's a very positive sign. We want to make sure to, I don't know why people do this. There was a line around the building both yesterday and today before they even opened, but then later in the afternoon there's no line. So if you have the option to go during the day or later in the day, I would do that, just especially if you're bringing someone elderly disabled who can't stand in the line wrapped around the building. But we want to keep those numbers up and get the word out to as many people in our community as possible. So please share that on Facebook, share it with your friends and family, anybody that you know that might be eligible, willing, and able to go ahead and get that COVID vaccine. Did I miss anything on that one? Okay. And then I also, since she was here, want to congratulate Heather Ireland on her first day as a planning director and her first order of business. Oh, yeah. Round of applause. Congratulations. Heather's been with the city for about 5 years, so this is a wonderful next step for her and for us, and her first job is to hire her replacement. So that's always fun. Getting it all done while you're filling the gap. A few of us were just down at Bearded Pig. They are starting with their soft opening. The much anticipated, I think the only more anticipated opening was Whole Foods earlier this year, but Bearded Pig is getting their feet under them with a soft opening this week, and I think what they say their real opening is on Thursday. So make sure to check it out. They've done a great job taking an old bank and making it into a great restaurant. So I think it's going to be a great addition to Jacksonville Beach. Ms. Golding.
Thank you, Mayor. I have several announcements. First of all, I wanted to mention that Ms. Dumont and I had the pleasure of attending a ribbon cutting for a new barber shop that's opened in District 3 at 315 10th Avenue North. It's called Details Barbershop, and it's a great place. They've got 8 chairs, and right now they've got 5 barbers, and they're really excited to be here in Jacks Beach. So if you're looking to get a haircut, I would encourage you to check it out. Also, I wanted to mention that on this coming Saturday, March 20th, there is going to be a beach cleanup from 8 to 10 a.m. It's going to be a combined effort with Clean Jacks, Beaches Sea Turtle Patrol, Beaches Watch, and the Fletcher Marine Coastal Club. Anybody who wants to volunteer, you can go to the Atlantic Boulevard Beach Access, the Beach Boulevard Beach Access, or the Seagate Avenue Beach Access. There will be tables there with gloves and bags to pick up trash and clean up the beach, and I would encourage you to do that. It's always fun. Great way to walk the beach. And then also on Sunday the 21st, there's a great event. It's called Whiskers and Waves. It's a pet adoption event, and there'll be dogs and cats there that are looking for homes at the Latham Plaza. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and there'll be dogs from Jacksonville's Animal Shelter, as well as Jacksonville Humane Society, our Jacks Beach Animal Control, Neptune Beach Animal Control, and Atlantic Beach Animal Control. So adopt a beach buddy or a bed buddy, whichever one you prefer. It's a great time to do it with COVID. It's a great time to have a pet and have somebody to spend some time with while you're social distancing. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is Senate Bill 522, which is the vacation rental bill, which just to give everyone an update, last week the Senate amended the bill, which took out the preemption which would have not allowed us to, or it would have taken away our ability to regulate and license the vacation rentals. That was passed, and so that's a positive thing. There's other things in the bill that are good as far as regulating the advertising platforms, but anyway, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better. So I just wanted to let everybody know the House bill is still moving forward, and it still has the preemption in it. So if anyone is interested in this issue, please contact our legislators and let them know how you feel about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Nichols?
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to congratulate Tyler McCumber. He's a local golfer that played in his first TPC. This time came in 25th place, did fantastic. Also during that and following around, I got a chance to talk to Mark McCumber and Josh McCumber, and their families have built golf courses and run them throughout the state, and the amount of just knowledge they have about Jacksonville Beach Golf Course and how incredible it is, they're just the amazing words that they were saying about our staff out there. And Bruce, that's running everything out there, was just amazing. I mean, it's such an asset to Jacksonville Beach, and just very proud to have it. Congratulations on everything that y'all are doing out there, and look forward to Tyler winning his first TPC maybe next year.
Maybe he'll list us as his home course.
Excuse me?
Can you list us as his home course? That'd be cool.
His dad won in 88.
Nice players trivia. Thanks, Corey. Mr. Stokes?
Yeah, just wanted to take a moment, talk about the 904 pop-up that was yesterday here at the Seawalk Pavilion in Latham Plaza. I believe there was over 140 vendors, food trucks. I walked around for a couple hours. The crowds were fantastic. All ages were there. A lot of kids. I took both of our kids, and we had a great time. Got to eat some food, do some shopping, supporting a lot of local businesses and a lot of small businesses. And it's a great event. If you ever see it, I always try to share it on my Facebook to let people know, but if you see it, I encourage you to go and check it out and support local small businesses. Second, I had the opportunity to speak with a friend of mine who is the legislative aide for Representative Fisher in the State House, who is championing the STDR bill, and talk with him about the issue a little bit. I'm hopeful that the House bill will change following the Senate bill, but obviously there's still some issues. But as Councilmember Golding mentioned, there is some positives, such as regulation of the advertising platforms, but as it stands, it is still not a good bill for our local municipalities. And they are well aware of our proclamation from the other week, so that is very good news, and hopefully we can get some change going on that bill. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Mason?
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment too as well. It was a beautiful weekend, 2PC weekend, a lot of visitors, a lot of good comments in regards to Jack's Beach with the 904 pop-up and everything else. I saw some heavy police presence Saturday night and Friday night, which was pretty relieving. I think that's great going into a busy season, and I look forward to beautiful weather and getting back to normal.
Thank you. Looks like that's it for announcements. Courtesy of the Florida visitors, Mr. Marsh, come up and tell us your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Ken Marsh, 2011 Gale Avenue. I wanted to start with a quote that was used in your recent vision retreat. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without a vision, it just passes time. And vision with action can change the world. If I could sum up the many times that I've been up here in the last 8 years, it'd be summed up by this quote. Since 1987, when we first had our first vision plan, we've been passing time, but we've been taking action. I come to you tonight because I fear that we're making the same mistake as in the past. Over 12 months ago, Council approved $30,000 to get the Shepherd Group to review the past vision plans, to see what was salvageable, to update it or revise it. The Shepherd Group provided that summary to the CRA August of 2020. Since that time, not one bit of work has been done. Around the same time, the Gilmore Group, working for the city and the CRA, suggested an option that with a joint CRA council meeting, that would be appropriate to develop a vision plan and ensure everybody's on the same page. That did not receive any further consideration. I wanted to give council praise tonight for the South End TIF reduction that you passed in the last council meeting. You essentially gave a directive to the CRA that they had 1 year to develop a South End project plan, or they will assuredly lose that TIF money or be reduced. It's the first time that I've actually seen council give a directive to the CRA with a timeline. Oftentimes, the CRA is looking to you for direction, and this time you gave it to them. But the council owes it to the citizens to add one more directive to the CRA, and that's what I hope will happen tonight. And that is deliver an agreed upon downtown vision plan to you. After all, that was the expectation when the money was authorized last year. Some of you may say, let's hold off, let's wait till we get the community vision figured out so we have consistency with our land development codes, and then we tackle the downtown. I would submit the challenges and opportunities that we have in our downtown are unique. Our current LDC specifically references the Central Business District. We have a uniqueness downtown with architecture. Challenge occurs of trying to manage the essential bombardment of your other work and then keep the vision alive. So tonight I ask you, talk to the CRA, give them a deliverable to get you guys a vision plan so we can start working on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marsh. Okay, moving on to our agenda. Item 043, we have staff report.
Mayor and Council, this first item is the acceptance of the financial report for the month of February 2021. Again, for those watching at home, this is something that is required of our finance department to City Council on a monthly basis. We do have our financial officer, Ashley Bassett, here in the event you have any questions on the information contained in the report.
Thank you, Mr. Salvopoulos. Can we have a motion?
I move that we accept the financial reports for the month of February 2021.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the council? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmembers Demott? Yes. Goldie? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Stokes?
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries. Item 044, do we have a staff report?
We do, Mayor and Council. This item is seeking acceptance of the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, also referred to as the CAFR, as well as both redevelopment district financial statements. As you may be aware, on an annual basis, we are required to have a third-party independent auditor come in and audit our financial processes and practices. This year, as was last year, it was performed by the audit firm Purvis Gray. We do have a representative from their firm here in the audience. You were briefed on this item at the last council briefing. And a little bit different from last year, the new state regulations require that we do financial statements for each of the community redevelopment agencies. So this year have those 2 additional reports provided as well. If you have questions, again, we have Purvis Gray as well as our CFO here to answer questions.
You stole your thunder. Did you want to add anything to the staff report? Just state your name.
Hi, Megan Camp, Audit Manager for Purvis Gray & Company. I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that on all 3 of the financial statements, the CAFR as well as the 2 Community Redevelopment Agency financial statements, Purvis Gray has issued an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that can be attained.
Thank you, Ms. Camp. Can we get a motion?
I move we accept the comprehensive annual financial report and both redevelopment district financial statements and independent auditor's reports for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? We did have a pretty extensive briefing on this item. It's a big read, but it's always a pleasure to have confirmation and affirmation that our city is as fiscally well managed as we think it is. So thank you to Purvis Gray for continuing to do that great work for us, and to Ashley and her staff for working on things on our end and keeping things clean. And with no other comments from the council, Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Goldie? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Stokes?
Yes.
Demott? Yes. Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries. Item 045, Mr. Staffopoulos.
This next item is seeking for authorization for individual council members to attend training put on by the Florida League of Cities. Each year, they offer what is called Institute for Elected Municipal Officials, also referred to as EMO. Several of council members last year took EMO Class 1, and this year they would be eligible for EMO Class 2. Additionally, new council members may be interested in attending EMO Class 1, which has not yet been advertised or the details provided. So this is really looking for council direction as to who is interested in taking the classes and who council wants to authorize to travel and attend those sessions.
Thank you. Can we get a motion?
I move we authorize the following elected officials to attend the Institute of Elected Municipal Officials IEMO 2 training April 23rd and 24th, 2021 in Daytona Beach, Florida, and future IEMO 1 training, date and location to be determined, Burdette Dumont, Sandy Golding, Corey Nichols, Chet Stokes, Dan Jansen, and Fernando Mesa.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Comments from council, Ms. Golding.
I would just like to say that I know Mr. Nichols and Ms. Dumont and I attended the IEMO Class 1 class last year, and it was an excellent class. I would highly recommend the new counselors go to that class when the dates are announced. It was a very good class, and I just wanted to mention that I am interested in the IEMO 2.
Ms. Dumont.
Thank you. I noticed the mayor's name is not on here because she has served at least one term as council member and another term as council member, now mayor. She would be eligible for EMO 2. So I'd like to make a motion to amend this to include Mayor Hoffman's name if she is interested in attending EMO 2.
Or 1.
Second.
There's been a motion to amend to add my name. Thank you. I didn't want to be the only one on this dais who hadn't been to one. So any comments on the amended motion or on the amendment to the motion? Okay, so we'll take a roll call vote on just adding my name to the eligible participants. Roll call?
Council members Jansen,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Goldie. Yes. Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, amendment carries. Any other comments on the motion as amended? Mr. Stokes?
You have to go to 2 before 1, right? Or 1 before 2, right? Yeah, I'll be in for 1, whenever that is.
TBD. Okay, no other comments? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call on the motion as amended?
Council members Mesa,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding. Yes. Jansen,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Item 046, is there a staff report?
There is, this item is seeking to approve the appointment of Councilmember Dan Jansen to the General Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees. The City Council has 2 positions that serve within that board. One of the positions is currently occupied by Councilmember Dumont, but she has resigned that position due to her outside workload. So we are looking to fill that position with Councilor Jansen.
Thank you. Can we have a motion?
I move we approve the appointment of Councilmember Dan Jansen to the General Employees Retirement System Board of Trustees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I don't see any lights on. I just want to thank Mr. Jansen for volunteering. This is important and very interesting work, and I think you'll enjoy being part of it. So thank you.
My pleasure.
It should the motion pass. Whoever votes no, they get slid into the. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Council members Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding. Yes. Jansen,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jansen. Staff report for item 047.
This next item is seeking authorization for replacement of the artificial turf that's used at the driving range at the golf course. As it should not be a surprise to council, due to the amount of play that we've been receiving out there, those turf mats need to be replaced sooner rather than later. We do have our golf expert here, our manager, Bruce Muller. If you'd like to get up and say a few words about the system that we are looking to replace it with.
Bruce Muller, facility manager, golf course. These are my kids taught me a little bit about transitions and animations, so if I got a little carried away here. So this is Turf Hound. So yes, we budgeted for $190,000 revenue our first year as far as range goes. We did 210, the second year at 265, and we're projected to do 360 or so this year, the way we're going. We're currently losing business because people are warming up or practicing elsewhere because of the condition of the mat. So, yes, this is supposed to be 5 to 7 years at a normal golf course that doesn't do this many rounds. Not to mention the people that can't get on the golf course and now have to access our practice facility. So it's taken on in 2.5 years where a normal place would do in 7 or 8, and that's why we're asking for the replacement. So this proprietary system through Turf Hound, you can see little slits in the mat. Those are like preset little plastic tee holders, if you will, so you can always tee up your ball. And with the death spiral that we go through and every other golf course goes through, it doesn't have this, is as soon as you get sand, dirt, debris from your shoes that you walk up to the mat, it collects inside the mat. As it collects inside the mat, over time, now that mat that was nice and plush and you can tee up the ball, now is really, really hard and you can't tee up the ball, and now you're going up to the grass and bringing that grass back. So it's just the death spiral, so this will allow us to never allow anyone to hit on the grass when we're on the artificials, and only hit on the grass when we want them to hit on the grass. So,
Wow.
yeah, very impressive. Right? So these are the mats. There, slipper. There we go. So basically they do that. So you can rotate them. The point of us doing this is so we can rotate them 180 degrees. And the way it's set up, can I walk up here when you're here? The way it's set up is you stay on the right side if you're right-handed and have those keys in front of you. Or if you're left-handed, you stay on the left side and get off the key on the right. So anytime that you want to, you basically rotate them 180 degrees and you've got 2 extra spots to hit on. Does that make sense? And more important than that, the south side of the driving range gets a whole lot more play because it does require everyone who's going to warm up to hit off of that side. They're not going to walk to the north side, so the south side gets a whole lot more wear. And this allows us to basically grab the panels, take it to the north side, and grab those north side panels to the south to even out the wear and tear. And this is the only product we have that ability to do so. More rotating thing. So it's basically that. There are 7 pounds that are interchangeable, very simple for us to do, for us to monitor. And the great part about this is $300 per panel. It's very simple for us to simply call the company, say, send me 10 new ones and update whatever ones we need.
Thank you.
That's the end of our.
It was a lovely presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mueller. Can we have a motion?
I move that we declare Turktown Synthetic Grass Servicing as the sole source provider of the panel system for artificial driving range T servicing.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions, Ms. Dumont?
No questions, just a thank you for the tour of the golf course last week and explaining all of that to me. I appreciate it and I support it.
Thank you. And Mr. Nichols, thank you for the nice comments. We really appreciate it. There's been a lot of people, not just myself, but Trevor and his crew, and we've got a whole lot of people here in this room that have been extremely essential in our success. But thank you.
Newcomers know the business, and they just said y'all are doing outstanding. They're good people.
He actually came out and did a year ago now. Tyler came out and did a clinic for our kids during Players Championship Week. I guess the day before COVID, or 2 days before COVID hit, and he was. I called him and I said, "Hey, Tyler," and before I even finished, he said, "I'm in." So yeah, Tyler's been a good supporter of ours for a long time.
Fantastic.
Mr. Stokes?
I just want to say these are sorely needed for the golf course. I came out, my daughter is in the first tee program, so I came out to just watch the camp and practice a little bit, and I just toured the range a little bit, and there's some wear and tear spots, some spots where the turf is gone, and that definitely creates a safety hazard. So beyond just creating a better hitting space, this also has a safety issue for those that are visiting the golf course. So this is much needed. I'm glad we got it in front of us, and I like Turktown a lot. I'm looking at them actually in the private sector for our course, and have hit off of them at several other courses, and these are, in my opinion, the best out there. So good job.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Mr. Mesa?
Yes, it says here that it's supposed to last around 5 years. Now, if once these are replaced and the usage continues, is it going to be less than 5 years?
Well, and that's what we don't know. But we do know is that this will allow us to never right now we can't blame anybody for going up to the grass or to the dirt that's there. When we have this in place and it works, then we can prevent them from doing so. So how long will it last past this 2-year mark? I would anticipate as long as the product is supposed to, the actual fibers, but it being damaged or torn or broken, like Mr. Stokes said, that won't be an issue because that's something we'll always have the T on, and we won't have the compressed fibers that we have right now.
Thank you.
Ms. Golding?
I apologize, but I may have jumped the gun on the second because I realize there's an "and" in there, so do we need to complete the motion? Okay, you want to do them as two? Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments on declaring Turktown a sole provider? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Stoke?
Yes.
Demott? Yes. Golding? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries. Can we have a motion on the second item, or second action?
I move that we approve the purchase of the replacement driving range tees from Turktown Synthetic Grass Servicing in the amount of $36,008.48.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmembers Demott?
Yes.
Golding? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Stokes?
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries. Next item, can we get a staff report on resolution, on 048?
Yes, Mayor and Council, the City of Jacksonville Beach, in partnership with the CRA, is getting ready to hire its first CRA coordinator position. You may recall that back when the budget was originally prepared, the position was called a CRA manager, CRA program manager. Since that time, the job description has morphed a little bit as we've gotten a little bit better idea of what this person will be doing on a day-to-day basis. At this point, what we are looking to do is actually change the title to match that which is more of an industry standard with the CRA coordinator, thank you, and also to make this position eligible for our automobile reimbursement for our first-year employees. It is anticipated that this position will be driving to meet with the development community and business owners in the Jacksonville metro area in order to engage them with the activities of the two CRA districts. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will you read the resolution number 2075-2021 by title?
A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, amending its position classification and pay plan for managerial, professional, and administrative non-union positions, to revise the title of and provide an automobile allowance to the CRA coordinator position, providing for adoption of recitals, adoption of the plan, repeal of prior inconsistent resolutions, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. Motion?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2075-2021, amending the position classification and pay plan for managerial, professional, and administrative non-union positions to revise the title of the CRA coordinator and add a position to the list of those eligible for automobile allowances.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Council members Golding? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Stokes?
Yes.
Demott?
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries, and thank you. This is very exciting development for our city and our downtown. Where'd Mr. Marsh go? Next item, 049, staff report.
Mayor, with your okay, I'd like to present both 49 and 50 at the same time.
I will allow it.
Thank you. About 18 months or so ago, after starting here with the City of Jacks Beach, about 6 months in, one of the conversations I had with City Council was the fact that while there were vision statements and CRA plans for the two districts, there really was no strategic plan for the rest of the city. And with a population of 24,000, that's a lot of people to leave out of the equation of where we're going as a community. So we started on a process of laying the groundwork to get towards the development of the strategic plan. And it started with first holding community conversations over a period of just shy of a year, where we had 9 engagements with residents in the business community to hear about their aspirations for the City of Jacksonville Beach. The next phase is the hard work that the City Council did back on February 27th, where we brought in the Florida Institute of Government to help facilitate developing a vision statement for the community and a mission statement for the organization. And there were 2 drafts that came out of that retreat. The city leadership team in a subsequent meeting proposed some modifications to the mission statement, which the council felt comfortable with at our last council briefing. In addition to all of this, just before COVID hit, the organization also went through the establishment of its core values. So at this point tonight, with your adoption of both a vision statement for the community, a mission statement for the organization, and the core values for the organization already being established, we will have laid out the 3 foundational elements necessary to move forward with a strategic plan for the community. So this is a very big deal for the City of Jacksonville Beach, for the organization, and we are really looking forward to our next engagement with FIG to start the strategic planning process.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sophopoulos. Madam Clerk, will you read Resolution 2078-2021?
A A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to adopt a new city vision statement, providing for adoption of recitals, repeal prior inconsistent resolutions and council decisions, administrative assignment and authorization, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. And a motion?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2078-2021, establishing a vision statement for the community.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Are there any comments from council? I just want to say we did have a full day retreat to discuss this, as well as a briefing where we reaffirmed, and I think I was not alone in the fact that I felt even stronger about how much I liked the vision statement, how excited I was that we came up with such a concise statement that really captured what all of us were really looking for within our city. So I was excited to see that get through the department head level as well. Any other comments, Ms. Dumont?
Yes, I want to agree and reiterate that this and staff report, this vision and mission came from the community listening sessions that we spent months on. And so it wasn't just us getting together and coming up with a vision and throwing together some cool words. A lot of cool words in there. A coastal community that embraces the beach life. And that is what is going to help guide the mission and our decisions here on council and staff well into the future. So I hope that the community is as excited about it as we are. Mayor Hoffman noted that it kind of writes its own hashtag, the beach life, and we've been using it. And I hope that you all will provide feedback, especially when it's happy feedback. We really appreciate that. But I just see it's a wonderful marketing and descriptive statement of what we seek to be in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Dumont. Ms. Golding?
Just real quickly, I want to say that I am excited about the vision as well, and want to thank everyone in the community who came out and participated in those community conversations, because citizen involvement is key to good government and will definitely have a huge impact on the direction that we as a council went in, because that input was so important and as actually guiding us into identifying our priorities going forward. So I'm looking forward to getting our strategic plan done so that our priorities will be front and center, and we'll be able to get a lot of things done in the near future.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Jansen?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I think we captured the beachlife.org also as a domain name. Yeah. And so maybe somewhere down the line we can look towards that and get some information out there as well.
Mr. Stokes?
We saw it during our session, and we just heard it a few minutes ago, but we've got the vision, and now it's time for us to really get the action and to move forward. And I'm really excited to get the strategic plan going and get working to get something that encompasses the whole community and not just the downtown, not just the south end, but really work for every aspect of Jacksonville Beach and creating the beach life, an all 9 square mile strategic plan going, and start putting it into effect and putting it into action.
Thank you. Mr. Mesa?
I am also very excited. I'm very thrilled with the mission statement and our vision statement. That retreat was very refreshing and very encouraging, and I look forward to it. And the beach life, hashtag the beach life, I've started using it, so I hope everyone gets to start using it as well, and hopefully, become really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mason. Mr. Nichols?
Yeah, I've had great response from the community. I think it's great, just the fact that we were able to be succinct and really hit up the target. I just want to read it so correctly. I believe Council Member Dumont left out vibrant, but it is a vibrant coastal community that embraces the beach life. But I think it's outstanding. Everybody I talked to really likes it.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Seeing no other comments, Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call on the vision statement?
Council members Jansen,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding, yes, Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Madam Clerk, will you read resolution number 2079-2021?
A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to adopt a new city mission statement, providing for adoption of recitals, repeal of prior inconsistent resolutions and council decisions, administrative assignment and authorization, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you, and a motion?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2079-2021, establishing a mission statement for the organization.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Would anyone like to comment on the mission statement? Mr. Nichols?
Nope.
No one? All right. Mr. Stokes?
We covered it in the briefing, but real quick, we had a rough draft after the workshop. Staff did an excellent job taking our rough draft and making it into the mission statement that you see now, which is responsive government focused on safety, service, and sustainability. All three of those are key and part of the core values presentation. And then what we expect, what the City of Jacksonville Beach employees expect is to be responsive to the citizens. And so that covered basically everything that we've come up with, and they put it in a much nicer package, and we have it here, and excited to vote.
Thank you, and I just wanted to say Jeff Hendry with the Florida Institute of Government did an excellent job. I've been through a couple of these before as a participant, and he really guided us to set us up for success in coming away with the vision, and then ultimately with the mission statement that we could all get behind. So I'm looking forward to working with them through the rest of our strategic planning. I don't see any other comments. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Council members Mesa,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding, yes, Jansen,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. All right. Ordinance 2021-8161. Is there a staff report?
Thank you, Mayor. This is the second reading on the ordinance that council has approved on first reading. And if there's any questions in addition to what we've already discussed at the last meeting, we'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Will you read, I'm sorry, let me go back to my script. Oh, yes. Madam Clerk, will you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, amending City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 16, Article 1, by creating sections to set forth requirements and conditions proceeding for effecting service of notice of claims on the city in connection with Florida Statute Section 768.28 and establishing a false claims code similar to the Florida False Claims Act provided to state agencies, providing for legislative findings, repeal of conflicting ordinances, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This ordinance is before the City Council for a public hearing and consideration on its second reading. I will now open the public hearing on ordinance number 2021-8161. Would anyone like to speak in favor of the ordinance? Would anyone like to speak in opposition of the ordinance? Public hearing is closed. May I get a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I move that we approve ordinance number 2021-8161.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion by council? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmembers Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding, yes, Jansen,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next up, ordinance number 2021-8163. Do we have a staff report?
We do. Mayor and Council, this item before you came out of a briefing that we held several weeks ago regarding changes in council processes that you wanted to readdress. One of the things in particular that was noted is that the start time of council meetings right now is codified at 7 p.m. By adopting this ordinance, or at least going through first reading tonight, the time of the meetings would be able to be reset at a time selected by the mayor and/or city manager on what we feel is most conducive for citizen input. So this would give us a little bit more flexibility than having a firm walking time of 7 p.m. And again, the city attorney and I are here if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Staphopoulos. Madam Clerk, will you read the ordinance by title, please?
An ordinance of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to amend Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-16 of the Code of Ordinances to replace the City Council regular meeting 7 o'clock p.m. start time with optional start times that are to be determined by the city manager or the mayor to be conducive to citizen input, city council operations, or other public purposes, providing for legislative findings, repeal conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date.
This ordinance is before the council for public hearing and consideration on its first reading. I will now open the public hearing for ordinance number 2021-8163. Are there anyone who would like to speak in favor of the ordinance? Would anyone like to speak in opposition of the ordinance? Public hearing is closed. Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance number 2021-8163, replacing the regular city council meeting start time of 7 p.m. with optional start times as determined by the city manager or the mayor on the first reading and schedule a second reading for April 5th, 2021.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ms. Dumont.
Thank you. My only concern with how this is written is that it sounds like the time could be changing often. So if there's some kind of a consistent or standardized time frame, it's written that it can start at any time, at any given time. So just for a little bit more security. I know that we have for conducive to citizen input, city council operations and all that, but I just think it's a little too vague as worded.
Mr. Nichols.
The only question I have is where it says determined by the city manager or the mayor. Could it be determined by the city manager and the mayor? Do both parties need to agree? I'd like to make a motion to change the wording to replacing the regular city council meeting start time at 7 p.m. with the optional start times as determined by the city manager and the mayor on the first reading and schedule a second reading for April 5th, 2021.
There's a motion to amend the original motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the amendment to add or to change the word to end? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call on the amendment?
Councilmembers Stokes,
Yes.
Dumont,
Yes.
Golding. Yes. Jansen,
Yes.
Meza,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes. The amendment carries, so this will now reflect that the city manager and the mayor will make the decision on the start time of the meetings. Any other discussion? And I think the intent of this is just to take 7 p.m. out of the code, just so that we do have the flexibility. I think we've all, and the citizens too, have been enjoying the 6 p.m. start that we've had thus far during while we've been under emergency declaration. So I think that this is, the intent is not to bounce the meeting around. That's not conducive for the citizens or for us, quite frankly. Mr. Jansen.
I think Mr. Ambrosio has something.
Oh,
it's okay. I'll wait till all council members are.
No.
Thank
he
you,
was
Mr.
the last
President.
way. Go ahead, Mr. Everett.
So there is, I've left it a little bit vague here because I did expect that there would be a decision of a regular start time, and that regular start time would fundamentally remain the same. Unless, and of course, there's some emergency situation where this then gives you leverage to change that if necessary. So what we were confronted with in the beginning of 2020 with COVID, we didn't have anything like this necessarily in place. We had to go through an emergency process to change essentially what was codified in terms of start time. But I can revise it if Ms. Dumont feels that it's too vague, as she mentioned. However, I can make the fix from the or to the and still bring this back for second reading. If there's any other revisions, I'd be glad to make those.
I'm comfortable with that. Does anyone have any comments on that? Ms. Dumont?
I'm more comfortable with having the and, so it's not one individual deciding all of the meeting times. I
Meetings
know
at
that
midnight.
there's the intent, but then there's the actual implementation. So I'm fine with the and with that in the language.
I agree. That makes it a little less capricious. Any other comments? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmembers Demott,
Yes.
Goldie? Yes. Jansen?
Yes.
Mesa?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Stokes?
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman?
Yes, motion carries. I feel like some crescendo music should be coming up here or something. We have ordinance number 2020-8155. Do we have a staff report?
Nothing that hasn't already been said. Thank you, Mayor. So this is the Chapter 5 Animal Code ordinance, which council and staff have worked on through several meetings and briefings. And this is the final form of the first reading of the ordinance. And I want to thank Ms. Golding for adding some clarification that Elise and I corrected in the current first reading version. It includes Ms. Golding's corrections that she found for us. And it is ready for first reading. And I don't have much more to say that we haven't covered in 9 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrosio. Madam Clerk, will you read the ordinance by title?
An ordinance of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to repeal and replace Chapter 5, Animals and Fowl, in its entirety, including a new title, articles, and sections, providing for legislative findings, repeal of conflicting ordinances, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Thank you. The ordinance is before the council for a public hearing and consideration on its first reading. I will now open the public hearing on ordinance number 2020-8155. Would anyone like to speak in favor of the ordinance? Would anyone like to speak in opposition to the ordinance? Public hearing is closed. Can we get a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance number 2020-8155 on the first reading, repealing and replacing the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 5, and schedule a second reading for April 5th, 2021.
Second?
We have a motion and a second, and there's already lights on. It should be like Jeopardy, where you can't turn your light on until the motion is finished, like as soon as he finishes it. Ms. Golding, appreciation for your dogged determination on this, and how many other animal puns can we get into this evening? Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to Chris and to Sergeant Tater and to ACO Riley for all your hard work on this. There are a lot of really, really good changes in this chapter. I'm very glad that we have made the changes that we've made, and I certainly appreciate your patience and your taking time to listen to my comments and concerns. I feel like we have a really, really good chapter, and good for our people and good for our pets. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Nichols?
Yes, I just wanted to thank the city staff, especially City Attorney Ambrosio. I know it was a very rough process to go through, and but just appreciate really the hard work in getting us to the point. I know it was really time consuming and took away a lot of from the other stuff that you have on your calendar. I appreciate all the effort that you put into it, as well as Sergeant Tater and the rest of the staff.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Mr. Mesa?
Yes, I agree with Mr. Corey Nichols. Ms. Councilor Vermont, you put a lot of effort to it. Mr. Colin, sorry. I put a lot of effort into this, and I've read the ordinance, and it looks very well, and I think we had to get it right, not just for the community, but for the animals. I know there's a lot of evil out there, especially that do a lot of harm to the animals, and if we can make it harder for individuals and et cetera, I think we did the right thing. So thank you, Chris, thank you to the whole staff, and good job, appreciate it. It's perfect.
Thank you for the assist, Ms. Dumont. Any other comments from council? Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Council members Golding, Yes. Jansen,
Yes.
Mesa,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Stokes,
Emphatically, yes.
Demont,
Yes.
and Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.